I was in bed last night, and it must have been about 5 o'clock in the morning. I had this brainwave so much that I woke the wife up. I woke the wife up and I was like, tapped her, I was like, guess what? She's like, what? And I said, I've got an idea for a book. Because I'm quite manic, I'm a bit up and down, a bit mental, I suppose. And yeah, anyway, I just got this idea because I don't really sleep at night. Probably a bit hyperactive, but anyway, I got this idea that must have been about 10 to 5 this morning, and it just come to me to do a book called There's Something About Whitechapel. Morrissey quoted that on stage about 2006, 2007. He said, there's something about Whitechapel, not much, but something. And 133 years ago, this autumn, was the autumn of terror. 5 prostitutes, the canonical 5, were killed in the space of 9 weeks. And there's been loads of books on the murders, the deaths, the killings, you know, where you think, what actually, is there anything more to put? But it's not. See, when you get obsessed with Jack the Ripper, like I have since I was about 10, 11, you realise there's more than just the 5 murders. It's like a way of life. It's almost like an era, like a generation, if you like. How the people lived, not only Whitechapel, but like areas close by, like Stepney and Spitalfields, and yeah, I'm going to start a book today called There's Something About Whitechapel, and it's just going to be, you know, it's going to be very different to any Jack the Ripper book that's ever been out, because there's so much to do. There's so many famous people in the world obsessed with Jack the Ripper, like I am. Find it hugely fascinating, riveting, you know, and then there's so many things to explore other than just the 5 murders. You know, if you go in the East End today, obviously it's changed. A lot of it was ruined with the Second World War, with the bombings, but like my friend, and in my opinion, the #1 Ripper expert in the world, Richard Jones, says if you go in the East End and you look close enough, you can still find bits of the East End. You know, yes, Mitre Square's changed so much these last couple of years, but if you look hard enough, there's a lot there. And I'm just gonna basically, you know, do a next couple of months, do a study, and I've always wanted to do a book on serial killers, because I'm obviously a bit strange. But yeah, you know, I didn't really know how to approach it, and I thought, well, not really clued up on where, you know, with the Jack the Ripper, the Whitechapel killings, murders from 1888, I've like been reading about it since I was like 10, 11, and I'm like 41 now. So I've got like a lot to, obviously I'm going to have to dig deep and speak to a lot of Ripperologists. What's a Ripperologist? Clues in the name. It's someone who goes to college, university, studies, and, you know, makes a living from arguably studying the biggest whodunit, not in British crime, but probably in the world. You know, it's still hugely fascinating to think that these series of murders, and we've got to be careful not to glamorise the murders, and, you know, try and maybe think of the victims. But, you know, yes, there was the canonical 5 from August till November 1888, but there were actually from 1887 until 1891 11 Whitechapel murders which were unsolved. So, you know, a lot of people talk about the 5, but there was actually 11 in total. They just don't get the recognition because they weren't killed by Jack the Ripper. But I'm gonna be speaking to a lot of experts. Obviously, I'll probably have to go down to London a few times, which is my most fascinating, greatest place in the world. Not London itself, just the East End. The absolute shitholes of the East End. I mean that in the nicest possible way. But yeah, but listen guys, I'm going to start today. There's something about Whitechapel. I've spoke to so many people over the years, some really famous people as well, who were as intrigued with it as I am. You know, I met Martin O'Neill a couple of months back, and I was wanting to talk to him about Alan Thompson and Celtic, and he was just wanting to talk to me about Jack the Ripper. There's a lot of people, you know, Russell Brand, oh God, Kelly Osbourne. There's just lots of people that are just, you know, hugely fascinated, because he was never ever caught. And as I said, the whole kind of events, Jack the Ripper scenario, if you like, is more than just the 5 killings. It's a way of life from the people, how they grew up, how they, you know, if America's had a problem with crystal meth for the last couple of years, then on the streets of Whitechapel years ago, the what's that word? Academic was gin, and it wasn't like normal gin. It was stuff like would make you lose your teeth, and you know, and the lives were just so shit that they had nothing other to do than just get absolutely blitzed every day. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm going to explore, and this one is very much like when I started a couple of years back. I didn't even know whether I was any good, or whether there was an author, or it was just some kind of middle-aged phase. I might have, you know, got over and started dogging or swinging or cross-dressing or something. But I thought I'll start writing books, and found out about Paul Sykes. Wasn't interested whether he made any money or not. I just thought, well, what happened to him? And obviously I've done that, and this is very much like that, because it's something that I think, you know what, fuck the money. It might not even be successful, but I'll just do a book anyway. And there's not many subjects or, you know, things like that in life that you think, you know what, I'd be prepared to sacrifice 6 months of my life doing a lot of research and bringing out a book or whatever at the end of it. So there's something about Whitechapel by Jamie Boyle, published by Warcry Publishing. It's going to be coming 2022. I'm going to also make a Facebook page in the next couple of days. There's something about Whitechapel, so if you click on and send me a message, also give me a message on Twitter at JamieBoyle10 for any more kind of information. Yes, I appreciate there's a lot more people in the world who know far more about the case than myself, but it's going to be my job to speak to them also. And I want to just basically produce a book that's, you know, there's over 200 suspects, probably 15 to 20 of them serious contenders that you think, do you know what, I've listened to your story and we found Jack the Ripper, and then you come across another one and you think, no, it's this one, it's this guy. And as my friend Richard Jones says, the one thing you can be certain of with the whole Jack the Ripper experience, if you like, is the only thing we can be sure about is you can't be sure of anything. And yeah, you know, I'm going to be, you know, and I just want to produce a book which is, yes, we know all about the killings over 9 weeks and the ins and outs, and, you know, Albert Kadosh turned in with his horse and the horse shied away and all them kind of, but, you know, there's more to the Jack the Ripper story than that. And 133 years now onwards, it's kind of left an almost like a legend, if you like a legacy of folklore stories of the East End. And when I spent a bit of time in the East End early on this year, I was walking down Bucks Row, which is now Darewood Street, and that actually joins on to Valence Road, which was the home of the Grey Twins. So, you know, when you've got the two of when you think of the East End, I certainly think of, you know, West Ham, Pie and Mash, Jelly Deals, Chaz and Dave. But for folklore stories that are left embedded forever in the grapevine is Jack the Ripper and the Grey Twins, and them streets actually join on from where the Greys lived to the Jack the Ripper's first murder. So that's how close them stories were kind of brought up, albeit kind of, you know, Jack the Ripper was 1888 and the Greys didn't come around till 1933. So anyway, I'm going to shut up, guys, because I don't take a break. My anxiety's getting a lot better. Thank you to New Hemp. I'm recovering so much, and yeah, I keep forgetting the name of this book. So there's going to be a new book out next year, and it's going to be called There's Something About Whitechapel. Not much, but something. Thanks for your time, guys. Don't forget to click and subscribe. God bless.